This is the gospel according to the IRS. Breaking Points and church financial updates. And now, here's the authority, Dr. Michael Chitwood and Breaking Points.
I'm Michael Chitwood. This is Breaking Points, and we have some special bulletin news alerts for you today. This is going to be information that you have never heard before. Grab a pad, grab a pen, because we're going to talk about some big things today. Are you a big thinker? Well, when you get through hearing this, you're either going to be a big thinker or you're going to wish and pray that you were a big thinker. I want to help you today with something that's a special news release. Faith-based grants. I know we've been hearing about it for several years now, but do you realize that there are special funds available for areas of ministry that you may qualify for? First of all, I want you to make a note of a couple of things there. Faith-based grants was eliminated, and then it came back, and the reason why it came back is because they wanted to level the playing field. That means if you're a FBO, which is a faith-based organization, in fact, you probably need to make that note there. If you're an FBO, which stands for faith-based organization, CBO, which stands for Community Faith-Based Organization, or an NPO, which is a nonprofit organization, the playing field has been level now, and all you have to do is know how to qualify for these funds. Ladies and gentlemen, the playing field is level. That means that no one can discriminate against you and your ministry desires or needs if you have some vision or some dream that's big enough that you need a lot of money for it. The second thing I'd like for you to make a note of there is this, is there's a special web page that's available now that's just been released. It was just handed to me a few moments ago before I walked in here, and that website is www.guidestar.org. www.guidestar.org. A lot of churches and nonprofit organizations do not realize that you qualify for private foundation funds. Now, let's take a little course on this if we can. Grab your pad, keep writing. Let's go. Number one, you need to realize that you can form a CDC. Let me give you a definition of that. CDC, Community Development Corporation. That is something that's outside the reach of your church. It's not doing the religious activities of the church, but it's performing some type of a community development project, such as a youth center. Now, we could call it a youth ministry, but why do that? I don't know about you, but the way that I look at a youth center or youth ministry, most churches these days, they think a youth ministry or youth center is where the children all come to the church on Saturdays and they all wash cars for hours and hours and hours, or they go door to door selling dollar bill candy bars. That's not a youth center. A youth center is something where you bring kids into. You teach them things. You have a gymnasium there. They're able to interact with each other. They're able to have sports together. And during that, we don't teach a religion. We teach a principle. See, the problem that a lot of churches these days, they get mixed up and messed up on this stuff because they're just so adamant of cramming some religion down somebody's throat. You don't have to put a religion forth. All you have to do is put a principle forth, because there's many good principles out there that children and young people and teenagers need to know about. You can make sure that you qualify by that. Now, a couple of notes here. You understand that the reason why that the government will give money to CDCs is because it's a political activity or political agenda, and number two, they really want to buy your votes. The main reason why that you qualify for any type of funding is simply that you're going to feel a need in the community. So what need are you going to feel most of all? If you can always say this, that you're going to put people to work, isn't that a big need? It's a big need. So if we put people to work, guess what? That's one of the criteria that's going to allow us to qualify for the big dollars. I'm not talking about an $80,000 grant. I'm talking about a $1 million grant. Is that beyond your thinking? Is your vision not big enough for that? Well, you need to get some more information on this faith-based grants. Number two, I want to teach you about EDC, Economic Development Corporation, EDC. You've got a CDC, Community Development Corporation. EDC is Economic Development Corporation. Those things all qualify for funding. So if I wanted to form a youth center, if I wanted to make a real nice youth center, if I wanted to get several $1 million from somebody that would qualify for that, I would put forth a mission statement. Number three, you must have a mission statement. Number four, you must have a good qualified business plan. You must have a business plan that meets the criteria of what you're going to do. And the last thing that I'd like for you to make sure you have is a good budget. a projected budget. So the main things there at the end is you're going to be a CDC, EDC, or maybe an FBO, CBO, or NPO. That's all pretty your status there. That's where you're going to have a status. You're pretty well qualified for that. Then on top of that, then I've got to have a mission statement, a business plan, and projection of income and expenses. If you'll do those things, if you'll get involved with this information on www.guidestar.org. Now, that's not my website. That's a website that you go to because they've got listings on there that will help you understand private foundations and how you can qualify. There's billions of dollars out there. All we need to do is make sure we go get it. You've heard this, the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go get it, okay? This is Michael Chitwood.
Breaking Points gives you the latest IRS updates and tax law. Pastor, if the IRS came to your church today, what would you say? If you really want your house of worship in order, call 1-800-345-9117.